station in Southern California, home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@kbla1580.com. That's advertising at kbla1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got your Black.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
I've had times in my life where I've thought too much about regrets and stuff in my life, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked about that some in the past, like looking in the past too much, right?
Right,
or
right.
attaching myself to the
Yeah.
past. Has there been anything along your journey that you've kind of regretted? And then how do you deal with regret?
I mean, individual choices and mistakes, yeah, but ultimately you learn from those. So, like, no. Because, like, even the regrets, the bad things or the stupid things, you learn not to do bad things or stupid things. You know, all those things are beneficial in some way if you can get through them. You know, if you, like, did something that resulted in someone's death or something horrible like that, yeah, it'd be a terrible regret. But I've been very fortunate that hasn't happened. But the dumb that I've done or the bad mistakes that I've made, they've taught me. You know, you learn. Like, that's why failure is so important. Like, failing and up and making mistakes, it's very important. That's how you learn. That's how the bad feeling that you get from something that you shouldn't have done or wish you didn't do or wish you did better. Like, especially failing at something where you have it and you just feel like a loser. Like, that just teaches you. It teaches you to get your shit together.
Well, you have such a good ability to learn from those things.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason back in the building. You already know what it is. KBLA Talk 1580, the VOR. I keep lava flowing like Kilauea. But peep game. I did this topic because, again, the reverberations that are coming from last Friday's relationship roundtable are just amazing. If you're in the Los Angeles area, you missed it. If you weren't able to come out, you missed it, because I mean, there was a lot of people that came, and it was an amazing turnout, right? But so many people are hitting me up and talking like, "Look, bro, we got to do this once a month." So now the cigar lounge that I'm a member of, they're like, "Yo, let's put together a business model and let's do this once a month." So we're in the early stages negotiating that. And what I recognized, right, is a lot of people carry a lot of regret, you know. And you do know regret is the seed of guilt. So a lot of people are walking around with regrets and guilt. And I don't think they understand it. So the topic came up today. We were talking about, the event. And the topic just landed in my lap. The intimate Indian giver. Why an Indian giver? You guys remember that old saying, Indian giver, somebody who gives something and then wants to take it back? A lot of us are like that in relationships, right? A lot of us feel like, you took my time, you took my presence, you took my money, you took my energy, and you weren't serious, or you played with it, or whatever, right? And so I was like, yo, the intimate Indian giver. What do you regret giving of yourself in your last relationship? What could you take back? And I feel like it's a foolish question, because you can take nothing back, right? You can take nothing back. But many of us ruminate on, man, if I had it to do it over again, I would do this. But what if I hadn't done this? Why didn't I just? If only I knew. Why didn't I know? I should have realized. A lot of us get stuck on the hamster wheel of those types of thought processes, right? I'm upset with myself because I gave parts of myself, and today I have nothing to show for it. A lot of people are like that. And in doing the relationship roundtable, a lot of things were exposed. But again, Krishnamurti. I got to start with Krishnamurti. Our action is based on belief, dependence, sex, ambition, achievement, success. Is there any action so complete it does not leave a single shadow of pain or regret? I want to find out if there is an action which is really whole. That's Krishnamurti. I don't think we know how to relate like that. And the reason being is because we relate to receive. And I know people don't want to hear me. Listen, I'm talking to you out there in LA. I'm talking to you out there all over the country, Oakland, New York, down south, southeast, northeast, northwest, southwest, Midwest. I'm talking to everyone. And I think people really have it inverted. They believe that in order to give, I've got to get. So the getting is really the reason for why they give, right? And then if they don't receive, what they signed up for or what they showed up for, they begin to regret all the giving that they did. It's almost like the giving they did, or the giving that they gave, was a down payment on hope. And I know people that really don't. And listen, I struggle with it too. You know, you spend 5 years of your life dealing with somebody, or 7 years of your life dealing with somebody, or 10 years of your life dealing with someone, and you don't get the desired outcome that you thought you would have. Many people, including myself, spend a little time ruminating on what I didn't see or what I could have done better. And at the end of the day, this is all fruitless. The reality of it is, it happened the way it was supposed to happen. You got what you were supposed to get. And more importantly, everything in the universe is so aligned that everything you experience has a lesson associated with it. Right? Now, many people would rather have what they want. Listen. Many people would rather have what they want than get a lesson. Many people don't understand that lessons are blessings. Right? Many people do not categorize a lesson as a blessing. And sometimes lessons and blessings, which are synonymous with one another, come through failure. Failure is the conduit for blessing. Pain is the conduit for success, for blessings. And people, I don't care what the newfangled people want to say. There's a lot of people out there. You ain't got to struggle to be in love. Somebody told you love is hard. Yes. Listen to what I'm saying. If everybody, because we did the round table, and the round table was about attachment styles. And what we're finding is that secure attachment is in the minority. So the majority of people you're going to meet, the majority of people you're going to date, the majority of people that you're going to be attracted to, the majority of people that you're going to like are going to have a maladaptive attachment style. It's rare you're going to find somebody securely attached. And even the securely attached typically don't stay securely attached when they get with maladaptive attachment styles. The maladaptive attachment style has the power to pull a securely attached person into anxious, preoccupied, into dismissive. So why do we struggle with the I wish I would have, the woulda, shoulda, coulda? I wish I could have did this. I wish I could have did that. I wish things would have been this way. I wish I could have shown up different. You showed up the way you were supposed to show up. True or false? Regret is the experience of feeling disappointed, embarrassed, ashamed, sad, or remorse over something that happened in the past. True or false? 1-800-920-1580. This is a non-judgmental conversation. This is a national discussion. I want to talk to you. True or false? The only regret that exists is the regret of making a different choice for oneself. That's the only regret. I wish I would have done something different. Now flip it another way. Is the regret of losing other people, significant others, becoming extinct? We live in a highly superficial society. We live in a society that really doesn't value deep connections. Mind you, if we go back to what I just said about maladaptive attachment styles being in the majority, that means dismissive, avoidant. These are people who didn't get what they needed from their parents. Their emotional expression was not embraced, the full range of their emotional expression was not embraced, so they learned how to self-soothe. So those type of people don't really need other people. They need their space and independence more than they need to be loved on. They have to heal through that attachment style. But many of them have been so conditioned by it that that's the only way they know, right? Then you have fearful avoidant, who has the preoccupied, the anxious preoccupied, right? As well as the avoidant. They got two wounds. And when you're dealing with the three maladaptive attachment styles, what is happening is they're trying to get their partners to cope and manage the relationship around their attachment style and wounds. In a world driven by transactions and superficial interactions, is it necessary for the concept of regret to be elevated to the level that rivals the profound depths of the soul's darkness by a divine intervention? In other words, in order for regret to work, guess what you got to have? You got to have a dark night of the soul, because society is so superficial. Your whole world got to crash in order for you to feel the sting of regret. When I come forward, I've got more questions, and the callers are starting to flow through. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Linking social justice and climate justice all year long. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible.
Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. More. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Until I love you, I love you, until I find the day, the only words I know that you, until I say the only words I know that you, until
I know you see it, girl, this ain't sitting real good in my soul. Everywhere this little girl goes, she pick up another obstacle. She was my heart, I don't know the tribe or the fall, but by default, she don't think of me. I thought she was an Indian. She be slanging things like a simian. All my life I wanted me an Indian. And now she's far away, but I had to know. Listen, I know you see it, girl, this ain't sitting real good in my soul. Everywhere this little girl goes, she pick up another obstacle. She was my heart, I don't know the tribe or the fall, but by default, she don't think of me. I thought she was an Indian.
One of the most fearful thoughts that people have in their lives is, will I ever meet the love of my life? Perhaps one of the most painful thoughts that people experience is, did I just lose the love of my life? We meet someone, we fall in love, we want it to work, we'd give anything for it to work, and then we lose that person, or that person threatens to leave. And our entire body and mind is screaming that we're losing the thing that was meant for us. I have a phrase in my mind that I believe is extremely important in creating the lens that you look at your relationships through. The right relationship isn't brittle. I look at the situation right now in the last few months, and the pandemic has precipitated what we hear in the news, an extraordinary number of divorces in different countries.
Wait, pause that. Did you hear what he said? Did you? Before the little music and the guitar riff, he said the right relationship isn't brittle. We ain't even got to play no more. The right relationship is not brittle. See, listen, for many of us, we run to safety, to certainty, to predictability. We don't want to be hurt. Zoe has been on the radio here for 2 years telling you that when you pursue pleasure, you are pursuing pain. When you pursue openness and vulnerability, you are pursuing pain. The word vulnerable itself means pain. So the whole movement is predicated just like an infant. This is why you'll hear me say some of us are spiritual infants, spiritual zygotes, right? We're so fundamentally wired, the limbic system, the reptilian brain. We just want the good that relationship offers. We don't know how to be resilient. Do you see? Now let's get even deeper. Why is it like that? Because pain leads to purpose, right? Purpose, the purpose of why you're relating with someone, leads to self-realization. And we want the most meaningful, the most impactful thing that happens in our life, we want it for free. We don't want to pay with pain. We want to pay for it with pleasure. Krishnamurti dealt with this question for 60 years. What did he say? He said, is there an action that doesn't bring sorrow? Huh? So you thought people-pleasing would bring pleasure. You thought making your own voice small and then turning around and blaming the person you made your voice small for was going to bring pleasure. That's how you learn to maneuver. Do you see? Everything we do in relationship brings some kind of dissatisfaction. And what do we have as a measure of trying to be okay with that? Blame shifting. There's nothing that hurts in a relationship that you should regret. If you're a victim, you should never regret being a victim. You're not responsible for being a victim, but you are responsible for labeling yourself as one. Woo! When we come forward, the voice of reason, I'm going to the phone lines, it's going to get crazy.
Think it wasn't good to intervene and I lost it. Lost it to the world and the girls and the posters. Entertained, I died of the pain and it cost her. I ain't mad at me, but it hurt. And I thought she wasn't in it. Now she only worried about the Benjamins. She been looking in my dreams.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A key aide to Dalton, Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Keith Freeman, faces indictment for allegedly underreporting income during bankruptcy proceedings related to his positions in the Village and Thornton Township. The Black mayor's spending is also under scrutiny. Freeman, who managed the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation, faces charges of bankruptcy fraud amid questions about the foundation's finances. The relationship between Black New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell and the head of her security team is back in the spotlight. A new photo has surfaced showing them having lunch, and there were wine glasses on the table. The Metropolitan Crime Commission says Officer Jeffrey Vappy was on duty that weekend. It's unclear if he was drinking. Even if he was sober, they say the cozy relationship violates the code of conduct. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. How does 3 months of free electricity and a lifetime of energy savings sound? Well, it's yours when you go solar with Sunlux. Learn more at sunlux.com, sunlux.com.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California, home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising@KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
let's talk about regret. Now, if there is a universal experience that people who are experiencing narcissistic abuse or who are survivors of narcissistic abuse all share, it is the experience of regret. What are the regrets that people talk about? They'll say that I regret that this relationship ever happened. I regret that I spent so much time in it. I regret that somehow this relationship wasn't different. I saw such potential. I regret at the opportunities I lost because of being in this relationship. I regret what being in this relationship did to my family. I regret not getting out of this relationship sooner. Believe it or not, there's people who regret that it ended. I'll talk more about that in a moment. And actually, I'd love for any of you to share some of the regrets.
Wait, pause. Did you hear what she said? Believe it or not, there are some people that regret it ended. That implies that that regret is in the minority now. People just don't care. If I'm not getting what I want, this is a celebration. You've heard me say the new model is breakups are a tool for self-empowerment. Go ahead, let her finish.
I regret not getting out of this relationship sooner. Believe it or not, there's people who regret that it ended. I'll talk more about that in a moment. And actually, I'd love for any of you to share some of the regrets you've had in your narcissistic relationship. Drop them in the comments. Would love to hear them. Now, regret is a sense of sadness or disappointment over something that has occurred, and particularly over any kind of a lost opportunity or just lost moment. You can easily see how regret and rumination are best friends. Regret gives rumination its material. A hefty chunk of what people ruminate about is, ding, regret. In an intimate or close relationship is where we see regret is often the most pronounced. It's most often because you are the person who chose this person. In many cases, people regret the day that they met this person. They regret not seeing the red flags earlier and listening to them. They may regret moving too fast, falling for the red flags early on, and falling for the hoovering down the pike. Then you may get caught in the regret abyss. You're not sure whether you're willing to leave, because you have fear about regretting that you left. And then you're not sure whether you should stay, but then you have potential regret about the time you may waste if you stay. Can't win. Many people I have worked with over the years have indicated that they regret that they didn't honor the red flags that they saw in the first few months. And they kick themselves for years or even a lifetime about that. Now, interestingly, some people regret leaving and take the stance of perhaps the devil you know is better than the devil you know don't, and it's preferable. And they ruminate and wonder about whether the next person will get a better version of the narcissist. By the way, there is...
Lord, Dr. Rahman, everything she's talking about is about getting. Everything. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. It's about what you get. None of it is about being. People do not know how to be. Listen, if you could measure discontent in the same way you can measure dust or dust mites, can you imagine how many people are absolutely swamped and covered in discontent? Even when they get a piece of what they want, because it's a piece, it doesn't satiate. You have to know the difference between being and receiving. Well, you say, what do you mean, Zoe? Most people are not happy unless they're getting something. Most people do not know how to just be. Most of us have never learned how to manage a difficult moment by sitting in it without judgment. Again, Krishnamurti, have you ever performed an action in your relationship that didn't later cause some kind of repercussion? How many times have you done good things? And some of those good things were misinterpreted. Right? Or was perceived as not enough. And then that perception of not being enough affected you adversely. How many of you guys experienced that? Right? First, they do something to the goodwill deed that you do. Then you do something to yourself based off of their perception. Do you understand? It's heavy stuff tonight. Why do we regret so much? Why does regret have such a powerful hold? Tonight's topic, the intimate Indian giver. What do you regret giving of yourself in your last relationship? And why do you regret it? What regrets do you have? Dr. Ramani listed a few. Your time, your sex, your money, your presence, your support, your love. Do you regret that the wrong person up-leveled your spirit? Ooh, listen, lessons are you mad that the wrong person was the conduit to your elevation, to your apotheosis? They were the stairway to your internal heaven. Are you mad it was them and not the person of your dreams? Are you mad that you were the wrong person for them and now they're the right person for someone else using everything they learned from you? 1-800-920-1580. It's about to get crazy up in here. It's about to get crazy. Let me get Sean from Oakland, California. Sean, get in here.
Hey, brother. Well, my thing is, we all have serious wounds, right? Which you always talk about. And then we go into this world. My wounds happen to be my parents divorcing when I was very young. My dad was a really good guy. He just couldn't be with one woman, and that's how that happened. I respect my mom for her decision, and I was lucky to have a big family unit that my uncle and aunts, they took care of me, made sure I didn't go to prison. Thank goodness. But the thing of it is that when you go through this life thing, don't blame or expect. It's expectations, brother. You don't expect a bunch of stuff when you're in a relationship. It has to be a work in progress. You say a whip. I love this because you better be a whip. You better be a work in progress because you're going to have to deal with a bunch of crap because that's what life throws at you. Lefts and rights and uppercuts. That's what life's all about, And, the way you can deal with it is just understand that and pass it on to younger folks that, it's not a bunch of chocolates. It's not just everything is nice and fluffy and life will work out good for you, but don't scare anybody. Just say you can work through the problems. You need to be able to work through the problems of life. And that means keeping it open, not having those expectations, and working through problems. And together you can do it. I know it sounds puffy myself, but you can do it. You can work through the worst problems you can possibly imagine, crisis, and make that damn thing work in a relationship.
Sean, guess what you just did, my friend?
Oakland, baby.
Oaktown in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Always an open invitation for Los Angeles, California. Call us. National discussion happening every night. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. When I come forward, we're going to Dallas, Texas, and we're going to Atlanta, Georgia. Let's get it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit LAFLA.org. LAFLA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Love and happiness. Something that can make you do wrong, make you do right. Yeah. Love. Love and happiness. But wait a minute, something's going wrong. Someone's on the phone, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, talking about how she can make it right. Yeah, yeah. Happiness is when you really feel good about somebody. There's nothing wrong being in love with someone, yeah. Oh, baby, love and happiness. love and happiness. Oh.
Today, this conversation, I hope it will give solace to many of you that are suffering through a breakup, because this letter proves what I've known for a long time, that you may never hear, or maybe you do, but there is a dumper's remorse. There are times that somebody breaks up with you, and man, do they regret it later. Sometimes they have so much pride, they don't bother to let you know. Other times they write me with a letter like this. So here we go. And Denise, thank you so much for this. Took a lot for you to write this. Denise writes, "Hi, Susan. I recently found your channel and I love your videos." And Denise, thank you for telling me that. "I'm the dumper that regretted their choice and came back, but got rejected. It was a 4-year relationship and I ended it impulsively. There was no cheating or some major conflict. I respect my ex's decision. However, I'm ridden with guilt, regret, and self-blame. How do I move on from this person and these feelings?" And forgive me while I'm trying to just adjust the screen to see here. I'm going back. Okay. I know this hurts. I know it does. You might not be able to fix it. I don't want to say that, but I need to be truthful. It sounds like after 4 years, it so flabbergasted your ex that they no longer trust you and they are done. So I need to ask you some questions that, while you may think they're a little intrusive and you're already hurt and wounded, I think could shed some light and possibly make you feel better. One, you say you did it impulsively, yet there were no fighting issues going on. Are you sure? I mean, do you have anger issues? If you do, that's something you can correct.
Are you sure? Do you have anger issues? Listen, there's always a reason, right? One of the most difficult things to do is to get people to be honest about their contribution to the dissolution of a relationship, right? To the entropy that has built up over time. One of the most difficult things to do is to get people to own up to what they did, to how they responded, to how or their lack of response, right? Listen, it takes two to tango, Big Mama used to say all the time, right? What if you thought like Krishnamurti? He has another famous quote. You know, I love his work. I have the whole 400 book compendium. And one of my favorite quotes out of that compendium is, "This is my secret. I don't mind what happens. I don't mind what happens." And when you adopt that kind of thought process, it doesn't mean anything could happen, the worst could happen. It's just life is going to continue lifing. When life drags you away from a person and a situation, you have a choice to stay in that moment psychologically, or you can allow life to swing you forward. Okay, it didn't work. Let me pick up the pieces and learn about me. How did I show up? How didn't I show up? How should I have shown up? You know, what part of my wounds or unrequited hurts showed up and made decisions when they should have stayed quiet? You got to ask those questions. He has another one. "The ability to observe without evaluating is the highest form of intelligence. Well, regret is comparison. Regret is evaluation, right? As Dr. Ramani said, regret is rumination. So here we are, sitting here. I could have did this and I could have done. No, listen, it's okay. Listen to what I'm about to say. It is okay to not have all the tools you needed when you needed them. That's how you get the tools. It's okay, right, to not have all of the tools you need, right, when you needed them. It's all right. That's how you get them. We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here. Nazarene X, been on the longest. Hey, Nazarene, I'm gonna tell you right now, I gotta carry you over. You wanna go? You wanna go now, or do you want to?
Yeah,
you wanna go now?
I'm gonna have to go right now. I'll make it short and sweet. I got 8%, man. Glad to chop it up with you.
There you go. 30 seconds. Let's go.
All right, look, most times I say, like, your regrets right now are pretty much only as good or only as valid until you find another reason in your life to take that back anyway. See, it's going to continue to be progressive regardless, and I feel like if you just devote yourself to forward progression, period, more times than not, in my own personal experience, you'll come into another encounter or a new relationship, a new opportunity or what have you, where it's like everything, quote unquote, it all makes sense. Now, there's nothing wrong with having that time where you think about how you could have handled things differently and so forth.
Wait.
And in those moments,
you got to stay with me. You got to stay. When we come forward, we going to go back to Atlanta, Georgia, and get the rest of these jewels. Let's get it.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A key aide to Dolton, Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Keith Freeman, faces indictment for allegedly underreporting income during bankruptcy proceedings related to his positions in the Village and Thornton Township. The Black mayor's spending is also under scrutiny. Freeman, who managed the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation, faces charges